Okay, Regulate Drug Tourism, a PowerPoint and essay by Sierra Hall. Drug tourism, though controversial, is a beneficial form of tourism. It is paramount that the tourism industry embraces this form of tourism in order to continue benefiting from its existence. Drug tourism. What is it? Drug tourism is when an individual travels to one location from another in order to purchase or partake in licit or illicit drugs. In many situations, this is perfectly acceptable and safe. It can be as simple as driving from a state where marijuana is not yet legal to one where it is in order to purchase or partake. However, it can also be something as dangerous as traveling to Colombia to partake in the legal use of cocaine. Fun fact, in Colombia, you can have a gram or less of cocaine on you for personal use. Anything more than that, you will face legal repercussions. And of course, if it is not for personal use, if you're trying to sell it, you will definitely face some legal repercussions. Excuse me. So, what impact does it have? Drug tourism is economically beneficial to the district in which the drugs are legally available. It promotes tourism and the flood of money that vacationers bring. For example, more travelers calls for more lodges, more restaurants, and more taxable product. Drug tourism is not entirely safe or regulated, and overdoses do occur, and other forms of death and injury are not uncommon in direct correlation with drug tourism, especially in places such as Laos, where many have gone to experience and partake in opioid use. There is also a spike in disruption in the red lights district of Amsterdam, for example, where foreigners tend to act foolish when indulging in the legal substances at hand. They have now launched a full Stay Away campaign discouraging European college students from continuing to disrupt their peace and abuse the freedoms that they are able to partake in there. Another impact it has is that drug tourism promotes unity within the using communities across the world. While some use their ability to travel to abolitionist places in search of fun, others are going for medicinal use. Psilocybin, for example, has recently been legalized in Oregon, USA, where people now travel to heal themselves with the drug's believed healing properties. Some benefits of drug tourism. Okay. Drug tourism not only contributes to the economy in a beneficial way, but it also contributes to jobs. The aforementioned lodges and restaurants being produced to keep up with the travelers and tourists searching for their medicinal or recreational high must be ran by someone. Drug tourism is kept alive by the enablers, the sellers, the hosts. With tourists searching for their drug of choice comes the need for lodging, food, and other activities and necessities. Drug tourism can stimulate growth wherever it goes, and it does tend to. So some of the most popular jobs that drug tourism can bring about includes, but is not limited to, bud tending, which is essentially bartending, but replace the alcohol with marijuana. There are pot coffee shops where you would be doing sort of a combination of promoting the marijuana products, which are often in the form of a cookie or a brownie or even a latte with general barista work. Hotel positions, of course, there's management positions, there are delivery positions, there's delivery drivers, such as, GoPuff is a popular one, I believe. Some people like to sit in their hotel room and order marijuana if they are in a place where that is legal. There are tour guides. There are shamans. There are so many different jobs, and careers correlated with drug tourism. So this brings us to the counter-argument, which is definitely a good one. And I sort of flip-flopped on this subject as I researched it, going back and forth between actually being for drug tourism and being somewhat against it. And that is why I settled on promoting the regulation of drug tourism. So the counter-arguments that I have are that drug tourism promotes the use of drugs. A lot of people cannot handle responsible use of drugs. So that in and of itself is probably my favorite argument against it, because it's black and white. Drugs are dangerous if they are not used correctly. There are many dangers, not only in partaking in certain substances, but also in the legal repercussions. For example, one could have the time of their life enjoying Columbia's a gram or less rule, but easily find themselves being hauled off to jail for something as minuscule as a milligram too much. Also, more people partaking in drugs tends to mean more people partaking in crime. Inebriated folk tend to involve themselves in illegal activities such as public displays of inappropriateness. Some sellers may not have the best interest of their customers in mind as well. They may deliver expired or laced product. Okay, a lot of these people will buddy up to you and act like they are your best friend and they want you to have the best experience of your life, and at the core of it, they really don't care about you. They just care about the money. So that is another great counter argument, is that it is a world full of evil. There are good people, but you have to really watch your back. Next, we have the rebuttal to that counter argument, and that is that not all drugs are inherently bad. Even in Laos, where people indulge in the dangers of opioid use, there are also those who utilize it for pain management. So even a bad drug such as opioids, right? We've all heard of how dangerous it is, how addictive it is. We've all probably loved and lost someone to opioid use. But there are those who still utilize it for pain management, like the cowboys did. Marijuana has been proven time and time again to be medically and medicinally beneficial. The danger does not seem to be in the drug, but rather in the person utilizing the drug. If carried out in an educated and informed manner, drug tourism can be done without much room for risk. One could say that alcohol promotes crime, yet there is no unreasonable regulation in place for it. Perhaps drugs could be treated the same way. So here's a little tidbit of how not to hopefully die, or how not to die hopefully. Hopefully you can follow these safety guidelines if you choose to partake in drug tourism, and hopefully they will help you stay safe. So number 1, don't travel on airlines with illegal drugs. Number 2, don't ignore safe intake instructions. Usually you need to work up to the tolerance levels of those around you unless you are an avid partaker. So maybe don't eat the entire bag of mushrooms that the shaman hands to you, okay? Number 3, do your research and don't trust the sellers. Again, a lot of them are just there to get your money. Number 4, don't travel impaired. Number 5, utilize home safe types of programs that offer rides, among other helpful things. Number 6, have a travel buddy or 2. There's strength in numbers, okay? Nobody wants to be, well, some people want to be alone when they do these things, but nobody wants to be alone when they do these things and it goes bad, right? So, in conclusion, drug tourism may not be an entirely safe option for everyone. If self-control is not being utilized just as strongly as the drug, the entire wall of benefits concerning drug tourism can go up in smoke, if you will. There are pros and cons, but not enough cons to outweigh the pros if the economic benefits are weighed. Giving individuals freedom to choose their own pursuits is akin to human rights. Therefore, it would seem a bit backwards to restrict rather than regulate. Perhaps regulating drugs rather than outlawing them entirely would benefit every economy. With that, that is the end of my PowerPoint presentation. I do want to note that this right here, this general overview, case studies, new perspectives, drug tourism article, it is amazing. Give it a read if you are interested in learning further about drug tourism. Okay, and then the other article I want to note, if you are interested in delving a bit deeper, is the Midnight Hour for 420 Cafe. If ban on foreigners is enforced, Amsterdam's famed coffee shops could go up in smoke. It really shines a light on how the locals feel about drug tourism and the impact it has on their community, and why we should follow the rules and we should be safe about it. All that being said, none of this is from experience. This is all stuff I found on the internet. Okay, I have no experience with drug tourism at all. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Bye.